My name's Jeff Makarevich, and welcome to Wine and Dine with Jeff, where I'll make a healthy dinner from start to finish and pair it with wines from around the world. Let's fill up that glass.
Hi, my name is Jeff Makarevich, and welcome to Wine and Dine with Jeff. Today, I'm excited because we are making this delicious vegan lentil mushroom stroganoff that is out of this world delicious. And meat eaters, don't turn away because I guarantee you won't be missing any of the meat. And we're pairing it with this Ash Pinot Noir from Willamette Valley. It is amazing. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. Okay, here's our mushrooms. Who is a mushroom fan? I am. I love mushrooms, any mushrooms. So choose what mushrooms you like. I like an array of mushrooms in this to really flavor it up. I have cremini right here. I have I have shiitakes here all sliced up, and oyster mushrooms. Like I say, choose your own. Very important tips about mushrooms. Well, first of all, the oyster. I don't know if you want to grab oyster. You want to make sure and cut off this chewy end right here. So just take your knife because you just want to use the actual tips of the oysters. So this is great in stocks. I make mushroom stock with all the ends, and the shiitakes I take off theirs also because they're very chewy, the actual stems of the shiitake, so that's important. And what we're going to do is we're going to combine these all. We're going to saute them up. I combined all of our mushrooms here. I have some olive oil in the pan here, and important tip is you want to do these in batches. So we're just going to do half now. Okay, now once they hit the pan like that, important tip, you don't even see a spatula in my hand, or salt, or pepper. You know, if you've been watching me, don't salt the mushrooms immediately because it will draw out the moisture and all the flavor comes in browning the mushrooms. So we want to let that go a few minutes before stirring it around to get a nice brown color on it, and we'll salt and pepper the mushrooms after they're brown. I'll bring you back when you can see what they look like. It's going to take about 8 to 10 minutes for each batch. It's only been 8 minutes, and look at the color we got on these already. These are done, browned, and ready to take out. So I'm going to start working on the next batch here. Now you're going to want to put the same amount of oil that you did. As you can see, the pan is complete. The mushrooms have soaked up all that oil. So in the next batch, you're going to want to put more oil and do that batch, and then I'll bring you back. We finished up with our second batch. So I am going to add in the first batch of mushrooms is going in. And to that, we are going to be adding in some onions is going in, and some garlic. I have a huge bed of onions in there. Don't worry about your garlic burning. Everybody always worries about that. If it's in a pan by itself, yes, maybe it can burn. Let's just give this a little stir, and what's going to happen is that the liquid from the onions is going to release. Now that is why you never do your onions and mushrooms together. I didn't know if you knew that, because there's so much liquid in the onions. This will take about probably 3-4 minutes for the onions to just start to caramelize and release all their juices. So we'll let that go. And what we want to do right now is that we didn't do is get everything a nice good salt and pepper. We want to do that right now is a good time. That also helps with the release of all the juices from the onions. So let's perfect time to do that. Okay, we'll let this go for just a few more minutes, and I'll bring you back for the rest. Our onions have cooked out, and I have half a lemon right now. I'm just going to squeeze in. This brightens up all the flavors to the dish. This is a good time to add this, and you're able to almost like deglaze the bottom of the pan, like if you were cooking with wine. But you'll be able to scrape up all those delicious brown bits once we get all the liquids in the pan. Now that goes out really, really quickly. Now what we want to do is add in our flour. So that's already cooked out. Our flour is to thicken everything up. If you are gluten-free, you can use a cornstarch slurry instead of a flour. That is another option if you'd like to use that. So we'll just cook this out. It'll just take a minute. Our flour has cooked out. Now we're going to add in our stock. Now this is where I leave it up to you for your choice. I used a combination of mushroom stock that I made myself and some vegetable stock. Like I say, you could use all vegetable stock, you could use all mushroom stock, whatever you'd like. Now this, as you could see, will start to thicken up. This is a good time to scrape the bottom here to get off all those delicious brown bits. Now what we want to do is add in thyme, fresh thyme. I think fresh thyme and mushrooms are like a marriage made in heaven. I'm telling you right now, I just think they go perfect together. They really do. So the fresh thyme is going in, and then to make it creamy, because you have a sour cream in a stroganoff, right? Well, we are going to add in our full of fat coconut milk, but I will guarantee you, you will not taste any of the coconut in this. What I'm going to be adding, you will not taste any of the coconut. Now we'll bring this up to a simmer, and it will thicken up. But before we do that, we want to add in a few more things that will definitely, we want some tamari. So tamari is going in. That's why you also, because it's very high in sodium, you got to watch the stock that you're using, that it's a very low sodium or no salt stock. And nutritional yeast, that is going to remove all the coconut flavor and just give it this nutty, cheesy, delicious. If you've never seen it, I buy it, looks like this. And it just removes all that coconut flavor. So we'll stir that in. Okay, we're getting this all. Now, look how thick this is looking already, and we haven't even added our lentils in. And to that, we are going to add some Dijon. I have a whole grain Dijon going right on in. You could use whatever you'd like. Dijon, and then cooked lentils. Cooked lentils, I always find steamed ones that I love from, it's called Melissa. Here, I'll show you the package. So easy. You can cook your own. There we go, Melissa's. You can cook your own, but these are wonderful. They're just steamed. So they're not added any flavoring. I'm sure there's some sodium in there, but it is just, I mean, there's so much simpler, and they're much better than canned lentils. Not a fan of canned lentils, but if that's the only thing you can cook, you can find, that is, and you can't find these steamed lentils, go for the canned lentils or make your own. If you're doing your own, use any lentil except a red lentil. A red lentil will turn this into like a mush. Red lentils turn into like a mashed potato almost consistency. So there we go. We're just going to let that now come to a simmer and cook for about 6 minutes, and that's it. So we'll let that go. Well, our vegan stroganoff is simmering. We have a minute. Let's talk about the wine. It's Pinot and mash. It's a Pinot Noir from Willamette Valley. I can tell you, I am a fan of Willamette Valley and Pinots. I know I do highlight a lot of Pinots on the show, but you have to try them in different areas. In Oregon, which is Willamette Valley, California, the traditional French one, they all have different tastes. Wow. It smells amazing. It has a smell of like boysenberry jam and blueberry pie. Oh, that's lovely. I'm getting notes of raspberry, tastes of raspberry, I should say, with a little like a vanilla spice and a little plum. This is amazing. That's why I love all wines, especially Pinots from so many different areas. And Pinots and mushrooms just are like another match made in heaven. They go perfectly together. Before I dig in, I would first like to thank all my subscribers. And if you're not yet a subscriber, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my recipes. And don't forget to like, share, and ring that bell because I have a new recipe every Tuesday. But I can't wait any longer. I'm ready. I put it on a fettuccine noodle because the egg noodle, the traditional stroganoff egg noodle, obviously is not vegan. So, like I said, you can do this as a stew, as a pasta. I've done it so many different ways. So let me try to do this without butchering. Here we go. I got a bite. Wow. This is amazing. You will definitely love this. Thanks for stopping by Wine and Dine with Jeff, and we'll see you next week.